We're live in the pits of Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got on the line with me, Bill Anderson, driver of the Nostalgia Aka Funny Car Roadshow. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how are you, Dave?
Pretty good. So you had a weekend at Great Lakes Dragway Saturday and Sunday for Memorial Day Classics. Did you have fun?
Oh, yeah. It's always fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. But, there's some fun thrown in there, too. You never know what to expect.
On Saturday, you did the one run against the Messino car, but the second time you guys had to shut off because some debris on the track or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They, we went up, we both did our burnouts, we got pre-staged, and then they had us hold, and they put on the flashing red lights, and I think we sat there for at least a minute, if not two, and then they told us to kill the engines and push back. So, you got to do what the track tells you.
Yeah. So on your first run, what'd you run on the first run against Messino?
Well, the first run, I wasn't too happy with. It was a 740, but I think I rolled the beams slow and started the timers going. I look at a 60-foot time. I usually run like a 108 when it was 140, so it was accumulative all the way down the track. I think I rolled the beams and didn't get a good run at them, so that was that. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Got down the track safe and in one piece, and that's always mission number one.
Yeah, so how'd it go on Sunday?
Sunday was good. We had a couple good runs. I got a little anxious on the first one, and he actually had a red light, but charged real good. And I look at the computer readouts, and all indications were it was a 7.0 run, maybe a 7.10, and the second run was a 7.10. So car ran real good all weekend.
Sunday you went against the shake, rattle, run both times too?
Yep. We were paired up all weekend, which is kind of typical. We could get a couple other cars in there. We'd mix it up a little bit, but I kind of enjoyed running shake, rattle, run. I've been watching them race my entire life in the various forms of that car. So they had just done a few changes over the winter, and we're trying some new stuff. And it looks like by the end of the weekend, they had that thing running along pretty good. Last run I ran a 7.10, they ran a 7.13, and he was charging right after me. I got through the lights and then through the chutes, and as the chute hits, he hadn't thrown his yet, and he shot right past me, and then the chute blossomed. So they've always had a real nice car.
Yeah. So Bill, when did you first start drag racing?
First time down the track.
Any kind of car drag racing. When did you start?
It would be 1972. Tell you, I can't remember if it was Great Lakes Dragway or Oswego anymore. It was one or the other because it was all pretty close together. Once I got my license and got a car in high school, I was off to the track. I had an affliction with drag racing from the time I was a little kid, and by the time I got a car, I knew what I wanted to do for good old recreation. So, but so I was probably 16. I had a 69 Z28 in high school. One of those first-generation second-hand muscle car owners.
Nice.
Yeah. But back then, nowadays, people drive them and keep them in the garages and keep them all polished. Test back then, they were just our daily drivers. I drove it. I grew up here in Elmhurst, and I drove it in the winter. I drove it in the snow and any kind of weather. It was just a car.
And what'd you evolve into after that car?
Through the 70s, I bounced around. I had a Camaro SS with 396 for a while. I had another 69 Z28. I had a 70 Nova SS, and I had a 70 Camaro SS. So, that stuff was everywhere. I'd drive a car for a while, and then something else would come along, and it'd catch my eye, and I'd buy it and sell what I had. I was living with my parents probably most of the way through the 70s, so I could really only keep one car in the driveway. But had quite a few, and then usual routine a lot of people go through. Got married and found happiness crewing for people on cars that they had and going to the track with them, and then eventually got my own back together.
So when did you start funny car driving?
This car I finished in 2012. I started in 2010. I built the chassis over at Dave Donheimer's Competition Fabrication. I had known him for years. He's one of the people that I had helped out at the track and in his shop evenings, just hanging out, helping him do this and do that, and learning and a lot of fabrication skills that he had. And then when it came time, decided to build a funny car. Actually, it was a choice. It was a dragster, alter, or funny car. It came down to what's going to fit in my garage, in my side of the garage. And just the length of it all, it turned out to be a funny car. So I built the chassis in his shop in 2010, brought it home, mounted the body in my garage, did all the tree and tin work there, put the engine in, everything that goes along with it. I would go back and forth to Dave's shop, making brackets and coming back and putting them on the car. Then in late, probably November, December 2011, the Chicago Brushmasters said if I could get it ready for the World of Wheels in 2012, that March World of Wheels, that they would do all the lettering, pinstriping, and airbrushing at the show. So turned into a winter thrash in my garage doing body work for the month of January. Turned that garage into a big dust bowl. I had hung vapor barrier everywhere to try and keep it down, but it's going to sneak around all that. And so I got a friend I have, he's still right involved, that shoots paint for a living. Because I obviously can't shoot paint in Chicago in February. So we did all the body work in my garage in January, and February is we would take it on Sunday over to the shop he worked at and do the priming in the spray booth and come back and block it out. Following weekend, take it back, come back, block it out. Shot paint 2 weeks before the show, came back, blocked that out. Let's sanded did all the color sanding and polished it up and got it done probably about 6 days before World of Wheels in 2012. Took it down there, and RJ and his crew had it for the weekend. Did just a fantastic job you see on it now. A great bunch of guys. And they'll have the car actually at the August 19th, Route 66 Nostalgia event. We're going to be part of that. And Chicago Brushmasters is going to set the display there, and the car is going to be on display at Route 66 on August 19th. So it'll be in their display. I'm going to figure 4 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Because the runs are usually around 6 and 8 o'clock or something. After that, we'll have to take it back and warm it up and get it ready for the evening events. But it'll be in their booth all day on that Saturday.
That's nice. That's a Mustang, correct?
What's that?
It's a Mustang?
What I have? No, it's a 69 Camaro.
69, yeah, okay.
Yep. Same thing I have in high school. That's, it came down to, painting and the grill and that fancy work. We were trying to figure that out. My wife said, just paint like you had it in high school. So that's what we did. We just put on a straight Z28 grill with a Z28 emblem. And then the rest of it, the blue with the white markings, is what Baldwin Motion had put on their Camaros in 1969. So that's the paint job they put on back then. And actually, Joel Rosen gave me permission to have the emblem hand-lettered on the hood, the old Motion logo. I'm somewhat glad I didn't, because 3 months after I was going to do it is when I threw the blower belt through it, and that would have been, big Band-Aid over that. So we still might do it. I don't know.
So you got your funny car license in 2010?
Yeah. That's when I went down to Frank Hawley's school. A lot of different ways you can do it. You can spend a lot of time making laps, and I decided for me probably the best thing to do is go to a guy that knows how to teach it. He knows the right things to say, and make sure nothing gets left out. And I spent 2 days driving into school and walked out of there with my license. I had to make, the short laps and then full laps and full throttle and whatnot. And he was happy. He said, good to go.
Now, how did you meet?
I would highly recommend that to to anybody that hasn't driven a funny car. I mean, you can go out there and get instructions from guys with experience. There's nothing wrong with that, but the big difference is a guy like Frank Hawley, has a program put together and makes sure that he tells you everything and doesn't leave anything out.
Right. So let me ask you this: how did you meet up with Dennis Salzwimmer and Great Lakes Nostalgic Funny Car Circuit?
Well, I knew they were out there, and so that was certainly an organization I wanted to join. So when I got the car done, I just joined up with the group. I ran a couple races with them in 2012 and early 2013. I joined the group. Once they saw the car go down the track and that I could safely get down the track, didn't put the fear of God into any of them. And that the car would run the times the group needed to be in the show. They voted and said, okay, we'd love to have you join. So
how many events do you have with them this year?
This year is 2. It's a pretty light schedule. For the group as a whole, there are a couple of tracks that they haven't come back to us. They have their own budgets and needs and dollars they have to spend and whatnot. So I had Martin, Michigan, that was supposed to be the 20th before Memorial Weekend, but that got rained out. And then the Route 66 event. And their events, he has it all the way across the Midwest to the East Coast. They're spread out quite a bit. And there are about 20 cars in the group, so the guys on the east side wind up getting the eastern events, and guys in the middle get the middle events, and both the east and west guys wind up coming to get scheduled for the middle events, depending on how it gets scheduled. He tries to make it equal and fair for everybody, And there are some people that, have a lot of time that are either retired or whatnot, that have more time to travel. I don't have that luxury. I've got to pretty much, take tracks that are, within 4 or 5 hours of home.
Right. So now, are you yourself, are you going to be running at the Labor Day weekend at Great Lakes?
Yeah, I've been invited back. I've run Labor Day weekend, I think, 4 years now. Usually the group runs the Funny Car Nationals Memorial Weekend, so I'm usually not at Union Grove Memorial Weekend. The first thing I do is run with the group. But this year they've moved it to mid-July, so that left the weekend open for me.
Yeah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you come up with the name Roadshow?
Interesting question. It's kind of my perspective of my travels through life. That I view everything I do and everything that comes my way and everything I experience, that life is just one big road show. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I see.
Yep.
So how many crew members do you have for your funny car?
The 2 regulars are Don Langner. We actually met, 30-some years ago. We were crewing on a top alcohol dragster together. That's how we met. And we just clicked real well. And, worked together on other things through the years. And even back then, I always had those stars in my eyes. Someday I'm gonna. And told him I wanted him on the crew. I wanted him to be part of it. And when the time came, I told him a couple of years ahead of time I'm getting ready to start the car, but I didn't say anything for a couple of years, and I just got together with him. I said, let's go by Dave's shop, and took him in, and the chassis was done. I was just wrapping it up, and I said, chassis just about done. I said, are you in? And he said, yep, I'm in. And Eldon Isles, similar type of thing. He's the other regular crew guy. I met him at the track as well. So, you can meet guys all over the place. You can meet them at work or on the street or bars, whatever. But I just happen to meet everybody at the track. And then I have a variety of people that occasionally come in and help out.
Right, that's good.
Mhm.
So is your family involved at all?
Not really. I grew up more in a golfing family. And You know, they just drag racing just wasn't. It didn't connect with them. In fact, my dad was real good about it, though. You know, when I was in high school, he would let me take over his side of the garage and work on my car, sometimes for weeks or a month at a time. And you know, one of the cars that I built in the 76, 77 time frame actually was in his side of the garage for about 2 years. You know, he let me have it because it wasn't a street car; it was a hot '69 Z28. You know, it was a hot street car and just wasn't something I wanted to leave outside. So he didn't understand it all, but he kind of knew it was important to me. But he never went to the track. It just wasn't for him. And same thing with my brother. In fact, he didn't come out to the track until 2013, and we were sitting in the pits, and Don would turn the car around, and he comes out in the understatement. He goes, this is pretty cool. Yeah. So
that's fucked.
She said that 40 years ago. But my wife, we've been together since we were kids. She understands it. She gets it to a certain extent, but she doesn't have it so much in her blood. She'll come to the local events. She like this weekend she came, and she'd be there at the Route 66 show, and occasionally when I have a 32 Ford 5 window that I run at Route 66 quite a bit, so so she'll go with that sometimes, or to a cruise night. But she has just a little bit of the bug, but she's not as infected as I am.
Hey, Bill, it's Tanya, remember?
Yeah, hi, Tanya. How are you?
Good. How's your wife?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine. She's all recovered from the weekend.
It was awesome meeting you guys. You guys were right. I was parked right by you guys. That was awesome.
Yeah. That's right. You were parked down from the end of the trailer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, actually, Marcel and Randy put that pad in. Last year was the first year for that pad, and they put it there, and we love it out there. It's
That's cool.
Quite as many people coming through, or they eventually find their way. But I've been parked. I got parked once in the short chute, if you know where that is.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's a noisy spot to be in. And then the following, and then last year when we opened that, he stuck us out there, and when he invited us back this year, first request I had was to, hey, put us out on that new pad. So that's why we were out there, and that's why he put the Shake, Rattle, and Run out there, kind of keep us together. And hopefully he'll park me out there again Labor Day weekend. I like it out there. Like when you guys came by that area, we could talk.
Yeah, it was very quiet
you
there.
get up close to the track, where Doc Holliday was, or Jimmy Young, and it gets pretty loud there. Cars coming by, open headers, open exhaust, guys starting to, it's hard to carry on a conversation. You're out in that area. Of course, I might be saying too much now, and everybody's going to want it.
No.
We'll be fighting for it. But I like it out there. All of us did. You could have a conversation, meet people. They come up to the car and want to talk about the car, and you don't have to yell and scream and lean into anybody's ear. You can have a great conversation.
Hell yeah. So, do you play golf?
Well, I was kind of like wiggled into it when I was little because my dad was a big golfer, and my brother took it up, and being in a golfing family when I was 11, 12, 13, they had me in golf camps. And so, even I just didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. That was their cup of tea. And probably by the time I was 16, 17, 18, I just, we would do it on family holidays and stuff. And I just didn't care for it. I would go out probably once every 5 or 6 years if a buddy coerced me into it, and I, was always able to hit, relatively straight, and I could do some decent putting. But, I just didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it. Too slow paced for me.
Golf is very easy. I've been on a golf course so many times. I mean, you just hit the ball towards the hole. If the ball don't go in the hole, you go after the ball. You hit the ball in the hole. That's it.
Yeah. You keep hitting until you get in the hole.
Yeah.
You start at the tee. You hit it as far as you can, and you'll walk after it.
Yeah, you go forward.
Yeah.
Oh, so let me ask you. Let me ask you something. It's a little personal. How do you feel about the current president?
How do I feel about him, Trump?
Yes.
I hope he does a good job. Period.
Thank you.
I don't want. I don't get into political discussions. I limit. On Facebook, I don't post political things. To me, that's not what Facebook is for. To me, and whether I voted for somebody, if they get into office, you gotta hope they do a good job for the benefit of the entire country, not half the country.
No.
I hope it works out. There's a lot of commotion. We all know that, but I just want the country to do well. So.
There's always going to be commotion with each presidency, but Trump's going to go down as the greatest president of the United States.
Well, he's got almost 4 years left to go. And,
he got the motto for it.
Reelected and whatnot, but we'll have to see how it all shakes out as time goes by. But I just want to see him do a good job. So
is the Roadshow the only car you own, or are you working on another car?
No. I've got two. I've got that, and I've got a 1932 Ford 5 window.
Really?
A high boy with a Chevy big block in it that runs 11.0 flat on street tires because that's as fast as I'm legally allowed to go at an NHRA track. I've never had slicks on it. It would go a little bit faster, but with that car, I have to come out of the hole kind of soft or it'll blow the tires off. Mm-hmm. I come out at about 2,500, and once it starts to roll at about 60 feet, I lean into it and got full throttle at that point and take it down, and I do everything right. That'll run an 11.0, maybe an 11.1. So it's a fun car because I drive that to the track.
Hell yeah!
I leave my house, I drive it about 40 miles to the track, hang out all night, make a half a dozen, maybe 8 laps, and turn around and drive it home all on a 10-gallon tank of gas.
Hell yeah, 1932, that's badass.
Excuse me?
1932, that's badass.
Yep, I like it. It's always been one of the cars I like the most. In fact, in high school, I loved that body style before that, but growing up in the 60s and into the 70s, we all got caught up really at that point in the muscle car craze, or a lot of people did. And but I never forgot about the 32 Ford.
Yeah.
And, it's too bad because at that time you could pick them up dirt cheap. You could pick up nice specimens for real cheap price back then.
Okay.
Just a few $100.
Isn't the 1932 the Al Capone car?
Oh, I don't know. You see a lot of gangster movies. You see the 33 and the 34 and the Vickies and stuff like that. But I think the gangsters usually had the full-bodied Vickies and things like that. They had to get a lot of people and a lot of guns in the car.
Yeah. Oh, I love those cars. Those are nice cars. And I also like Bel Airs, E28s. I like Camaros. I like my Nissan also.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's too many nice cars out there, man.
That's right.
So,
and life's too short to own and do something with all of them. I know people that have, they actually collect cars. You hear people with 100 cars, and to me it's like, how could you actually enjoy all of them? You can sit there and look at them, but, to me it's hard enough to enjoy and play with what I've had. So.
I've owned all types of cars. I've owned Chevys, Fords, Dodges, all types of cars. I mean, they lasted for a little while, then I sold it off. Sold it off. Just short-term cars,
Right.
But my Nissan is the long-term staying.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you think they'll ever make SUV race cars?
Oh, I bet you somebody's out there has already done it. I mean, I think Chrysler, don't they have a Jeep Grand Cherokee with the Hellcat engine in it?
No.
They've got that running around out there, so.
I'm talking.
There you go. There's an SUV with the.
No. I'm talking about the actual SUV, like the Nissans, Lexus, the newer ones.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I don't know. It's on a smaller scale now, but back in the 60s and 70s, and even in the 50s, people took all kinds of engines and put them in all kinds of cars. So
yeah,
it's up to what somebody wants.
It's not because the body structure, because it's a plastic body. I don't think they're going to make it.
It's hard to say. Yeah, I think the bigger problem would be making sure that the chassis can handle it.
Okay, I'm going to give it back to Dave.
Okay.
So, Bill, did you have any drag racers that inspired you when you were younger?
Did I have any drag racer what?
You know, drag race drivers that inspired you when you were growing up?
Yeah, I don't. To tell you the truth, back then, I saw the names. I built all those kits in the early '60s. The Tommy Ivo kits and the Ed Roth kits and those. But I knew the names, but I think it was just the cars themselves that inspired me. I think when you're growing up back then, I was like 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, building all those models. The cars were what was really attraction to me. I got to know the names through the cars, but I didn't grasp really the players at that time. Probably in my high school years, I started to recognize the players and the names and whatnot. And I kind of like all of it. The superstock classes and the few altereds. I mean, good grief, the guys that drove those things. Man, you talk about nerves of steels on a short wheelbase car with an engine that's 24 inches up in the air and scooted back as far as it can go. It's crazy. I thought it was all just cooler beyond belief.
So now, what's been your fondest memory of drag racing so far in your career?
I gotta tell you, probably the first time I took. Every car is different. I think the first time in every car, but I don't think I worked so hard and as much and as much invested in anything as this funny car. And I remember when I first passed and my wife came down, I got out, I was all smiles. I said, if I never get to drive it again, that was worth it. So it was exciting, the first hit on that car. And I didn't go all the way down the track, but it was certainly a thrill beyond belief. There's the only way I've ever figured out how to describe it, a lot of people are in street cars and fast cars, and I try to explain to people I work with or whatever that if you get in your car and you're sitting at a stoplight and you floor it at a stoplight in 4.5 seconds, you're probably going 30 or 35 miles an hour. In my car, I'm going a little bit better than 150. And I've always found that be a good way to explain the hit you take coming off the line, even in this car. And my car is a fun nostalgia car. It's not even a competitive alcohol car. Competitive alcohol cars. I've got a buddy that runs Division 3 and some national events in top alcohol funny car. And he thought it was funny one day when I told him, I said, I just want to do a second and a half slower than you. I think it'd be great. And he kind of laughed because it's a lot of speed and a lot of acceleration, but it's something else to feel.
How many gallons of alcohol you use per run?
I think between the burnout and everything else, I would say probably somewhere around 3 to 3.5 gallons. If it's a cold day, warming up in the pits, you might go through more fuel because it takes a while to get heat in it. I think up at the line, getting it started and doing the burnout, backing up and going down, I think probably 3 to 3.5 is probably a pretty reasonable number.
So what do you prefer, the quarter mile or the 8 mile?
Well, for me personally, I think most of the hit and most of the action is in the first eighth of a mile. By the time I get to that point, I'm just kind of, along for the ride and steering it and picking it up because I think probably 75-80% of the acceleration and speed that comes in that first eighth of a mile. That's just a sensation I get that, pretty busy and pretty focused. And then, once I think I get to the 8th mile, everything is settled down and it's gathering speed. But, I kind of feel I'm along for the ride. get out to about 800 feet, hit third gear, hand goes to the chute, go to the light, clutch in, gas off, throw the chute. You know, so I think most of the excitement's in the first 8th mile, but given the choice, I'll do quarter mile every time.
So do you have a favorite track that you like to race on?
You know, I'll tell you what. You know, I do like Great Lakes Dragway. Not only is it a nostalgia track for me that I've been going to for a long, long time, but Marcel and Randy have done a heck of a job with the investments and the way they're improving that track. You know, if you were out there this week, notice they've got another building going up. You know, as I said, they put in that extra pit area down there, put in asphalt. You know, they could have just left the grass out there and had people pit out there on gravel, but they're putting a lot of money into it. I've never had a problem getting down that track. It's always worked out just fine. Route 66 is good. There's only a couple tracks that I have found difficult to negotiate, but and most of them are pretty good. You know, Salem, Ohio is good. Martin, Michigan's a good track. Cedar Falls, you know, I like running Cedar Falls is a good track. For me, they're all pretty good.
Now, with the new burnout boxes they put in over the winter time, how was it? Was it better for you?
Yeah. But you know, I mean, the way it was before, you know, we would just have to, you know, move the car around a little bit as we came up on it and get it straightened out. But you know, it was manageable for me before. You know, I didn't have a lot of problems with it. But that's just one of the things. They're just, you know, keep trying to improve their track and, you know, make it a good track. You know, it's all about making it good for the racers, so the racers can give the spectators a good show.
Right. Now, do you have any sponsors for your car?
I don't have cash sponsors. It's more of it falls in a different venue. If you notice on my front fenders, Competition Fabrications is on there. That's kind of the obligatory handshake agreement with Dave that you know, he let me build the chassis there and work out of his shop, and you know, he did all the tigging on it. I cut all the tubing, but although I can weld, he's definitely just an unbelievable master welder, and he said anything going out of his shop he wants to do the welding on, and I'm like, sounds good to me. And so, you know, while I cut and fit and, you know, every piece of tubing and bent everything, I would get it ready every day, you know, when I was out there, 3, 4, 5 pieces, whatever, you know, it worked out to be. And at the end of the day, he'd come by and he'd tack them in while I held them, and then come back later and finish taking them in. So that to me, you know, for where I am, allowing me to have that is worth a lot. You know, you can't put a price tag on that. And then Belafonte, you know, helps me out a lot with my clutch and disc packs. And then, of course, so you look along the bottom of my car, all those stickers are there for a reason. Some of them are sponsors of the Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Association, so they're on the car because they support us that way. And some are on the car because they help me out. You know, bell housings. It's a simple thing. They're right off Interstate 65 in West Lafayette, Indiana. And when I go down there every other year, I bring the can in. They take it. I go grab some lunch, and I come back, and the can is ready. You know, I still pay them for it, but that saves me $50 shipping each direction. Every $100 helps.
Bill. Bill.
Yes.
On your first race with Dick Messino, I got a lot of pictures of you doing burnouts.
Awesome. I'd love to see them.
I'll put them up as soon as I edit them.
Yeah, or you got my email address. I gave you my business card, right?
Yeah, Dave got it.
Yeah, you can just shoot them over to me that way.
Oh, yeah, they're great photos, man.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Have you got any where we're side by side and both cars close together?
Yeah, I got photos of you. I think I got a video also.
Okay.
I got a couple
Yeah,
videos.
I think, I don't know if that's one that I saw up on YouTube. Yeah, you know, the Messino gang, like I said, you know, I've been watching them since I was a kid. I've seen several variations of that car through time. I remember back around 1990, whatever combination they had, at that time, it used to launch and come up only on the right rear tire. The front wheels come off the ground, including the left rear a little bit. You know, it was all up on that right tire. It was just unbelievable. You know, the power that they put in that car through the years. And somewhere along the line, several years back, I don't know if you're aware of it, there was a place over by the Eisenhower by downtown called the International Amphitheater. They used to have car shows there, and the World of Wheels used to be there back in the 70s. Well, in the 1963 and 64, they used to have what they called the Southside Winter Nationals there.
Okay.
Those guys would drag race in that building. The staging lanes were outside. They'd come in and race, and then they'd race through the doors into the outside shutdown area. I got some pictures off the internet and put together a calendar to hand out to my friends. And the early version of that Shake, Rattle, and Run is in, I think, 3 or maybe 4 of the pictures I put in that calendar.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yep, it's a real early look at that car. And so when I got it done, I actually walked on over to the Messino gang and found Dick and handed him a calendar, and his reaction was, "Can you give me 12 more?" He wanted to hand them out, so I went and made a second run for Dick.
I also got a photo of you, both of you taken off.
Excellent. I'd love to see it.
I'll share these photos with you, and I believe I have a video on my phone. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a video of your car and his car. It's right here.
Of course, I got the video.
And then Dave got a video too.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing that.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna put them up, man. I mean, out of the whole races on Saturday, yours and Messino's,
It was exciting.
It was the most exciting race.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way you guys did burnouts, the way you guys took off, I mean, that was the sick ass shit.
Yep.
Both of my favorite cars.
Were you guys there over Labor Day weekend last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year too.
Yeah, so do you remember who I ran then?
Yeah, Doc Holliday Sunday.
Exactly, I'll tell you that. Well, that was another trip, too.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Guys, it's been around a long time, but running my alcohol car against a nitro car, I'll tell you what, that was a trip, too. So that's something I like about Great Lakes, you know. Never quite sure who I'm going to wind up getting paired up against. And that's always exciting.
The first time Dave took me to the racetrack was in 2002. I remember a guy got into an accident on the right side, and a helicopter had to come in. I don't know if the guy lived or died.
No.
I don't even remember. But I remember I saw the guy crash.
There's a saying among drag racers, and probably all racers together, that unfortunately the rules are written in blood.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that those guys drove back in the 50s compared to now is just incredibly different.
And I remember last year when they were doing a little car show in Kenosha, I sat in a guy's alcohol jackster. What was his name, Dave?
Ken O'Reilly.
Ken O'Reilly. I sat in his alcohol jackster.
Oh, nice.
I pulled in real fast and I pulled out real fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it was easy. It was easy to climb in, climb out.
Yeah, drags are a little bit easier than the funny car.
Yeah.
Funny car, if you watch us get in and get out, it's a little bit tricky. It's easy to get hurt.
Oh yeah, I seen it. I mean, I own a '68 Chevy Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a SE. It's a SS '68 Chevy Camaro. I should bring it out, but I don't want to drive it. But yeah, I'm gonna send you all those photos and videos.
I'd appreciate that. I'd love to see them.
And you could share them all over the place.
Now, Bill, have you ever had any accidents or near accidents in your drag racing career?
Oh, yeah, even with this car. There were a couple close calls to a wall where I got out of the groove and stayed into it too long and got pretty close. There was one in Salem, Ohio, 2 or 3 years ago, I don't remember. But I came so close to the wall that down at the end of the track, when I pulled off on the side, the guy from the track came running up. Remember, he was on his radio, and he's going, "No, there's no damage to this car. There's not a mark on it. The zoomies are fine." And my crew came pulling up, and Don comes up to the car. He goes, "Do you realize how close you were to that wall?" And I told him, I said, "Yeah, I was there." So, but that's it. Fortunately, I've had the good fortune. But being in a non-competitive type of situation, there are many times that I've had things get a little out of control, and I just get off the gas because I've got, it's all exhibition. I get off the gas, get the car straightened out, and go again. So you always got to respect these things because I've seen things happen real quick.
What's your favorite food?
Beef.
Beef. What kind of beef?
Fish is good too. Fish is good. Pork's good, but I gotta say beef.
You like Italian beef?
Oh yeah. Been eating at Portillo's a long time. They've got good Italian beef, and there's another place around here that has good Italian beef. Blana beef is good, and Augustino's has good beef.
You live in Elmhurst, right?
I grew up in Elmhurst.
So where do you live now?
I live out just on the west side of Wheaton, a little town called Winfield.
So you live right by a Portillo's too?
Oh yeah. Well, not too close. Portillo's for me is about a 15-minute drive, but you know how it is. You're always seem to be driving by a Portillo's around here.
Oh yeah.
But that little house that they have a picture of in all those stores, I used to go to that when I was a kid.
Oh yeah?
We didn't know Dick Portillo had become famous at that time. It was just a good hot dog.
Oh yeah, I like the Italian beef from Portillo's. There's a Portillo's by Gurney Mills Mall. Dude, every freaking day, there's like hundreds of people in line. You can't even get in line.
Oh yeah, but you know what? They've got the model figured out on how to get people to the drive-through service. And
the drive-through.
And any other fast food still hasn't caught on to that. You ever go to Portillo's at lunchtime? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. The drive-through. Then you got people standing out there taking credit cards and taking your order. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink, non-alcoholic or alcoholic?
Oh, I gotta tell you on that. I'd rather have a Coke over a beer any day.
Hell yeah.
I would. I just like the taste of a Coke better than a beer. But on a hot day, a beer's good. Every time we race, at the end of the night, we get the car all packed up in the trailer. We all have a beer. It's kind of a tradition with us.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Dave. Where do you get your fire suit at?
I've got a Stroud. There's a few out there. There's Impact and there's Simpson, but just certain things I liked about the Stroud better. The boots, they're a little bit different than what the others have, and I like the way they go on and fit. But I've got Simpson gloves and a Simpson helmet, so kind of a mix.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
Oh yeah, I've got too many. I've got way too many. They come and they go. I started playing guitar in 1965, so I've got that going on. But I never really wanted to. Well, I guess maybe in the 70s,
You got a band?
No.
No?
In the 70s, I played with people, and I had buddies in bands, and I just never, I guess, aspired to that too much. I just like playing with people, and I still play it. Probably one I play the most is one my wife bought me for Christmas in 1979, a Strat.
A Strat?
I played that, and I've got 3 or 4 others. I was into pinball for a long time. I still have machines in the basement.
Hell yeah.
I was into that for a long time, rebuilding pinball machines and selling them.
Hell yeah.
Christmas Lino train cars and
Hell yeah.
I like home theater and watch movies down there.
Hell yeah.
So I do all kinds of things.
You go fishing?
I build my own computers. I'm into all that.
You go fishing?
I don't think I've ever bought a brand name computer. Every one I've ever had has been built by particulars that I wanted.
But do you go fishing?
I used to. I rank that right up there with golf. It's fun when you get a big boy or a fighter on the hook, but until that happens, it's a game of patience.
You gotta see. Now, if you go out to Starved Rock in Utica, Illinois, you cast the pole. I shit you not. Within 2 minutes later, you're gonna catch an Asian carp, catfish, any type of fish. You're gonna catch a fish.
Yeah. But I've done things like fish the Fox River, ice fishing up in Geneva in the winter, and up into Canada. Just don't do too much of it anymore. Never had a boat. Either rented one when I went, or I had friends that had fishing boats. I shoot guns. I did my own reloading. I grew up skiing at my cousins, so pretty much anything that comes along that looks interesting, I like to jump into.
Hell yeah! So do you have like a favorite vacation spot?
Favorite vacation spot?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had good vacations, but I've done the beach thing. I've done the Caribbean. I've done camping a lot, and Disney World, and
I love Disney.
Traveling cross country. So pretty much mix it up as far as that goes.
Yeah. Dave? If you can go back into time to do something over, what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I would go back to high school, or even junior high, and I do all the things that I did. I had a lot of fun, a good time. But one thing I would do different is I would listen and pay attention to class and do all my homework. I think I could have all the fun and learn a lot more. That's what I would do. Otherwise, it's all been pretty good. I don't really change very much.
Now, if you were given $15 million to build a racetrack and to design it a certain way, now, what would you do with that $15 million, and how would you build a racetrack, and how big would it be, and what would you have in it?
Tell you the truth, I wouldn't build a racetrack. I'd probably get the money back if I had to spend it on a racetrack. That's a lot of work. That's a whole lot of work. I might give some to a local racetrack and say I consider this that I can come into the racetrack for life. But I wouldn't want to take something like that on. That's a lot of work.
Now, if you had a choice, what would your career alternative be?
My alternate career?
Yeah.
I started out in tool and die and wound up in electronics, and I have no regrets. Electronics has been a good, stable career. I've been able to look at a lot of other things, and I don't know. I don't know what my ultimate career would be. I've thought about doing other things all my life long, and I haven't.
Do you have any kids? Do you have any kids that are involved in your racing career?
Well, my son was at the track this weekend.
Yeah, I saw him.
He's enjoyed his whole life. he likes being part of it and going out. He likes shooting videos at the track and taking pictures. He's a good helper too when we need that extra hand. He finds the whole thing real interesting. Again, he doesn't have quite the infection I do to where he would build his own car, but he sure loves being around it and going out. So, that's all right by me.
That is pretty cool. Well, that's it for the questions. You got anything else you want to say?
No. I think we've talked about quite a bit. We went through quite a few topics.
Yeah.
Any final words for all the fans out there, Bill?
Yeah. Keep coming out and think about bringing your own car out. That's what it's all about. I started going down the track with just a stock street car when I was young, and that's one thing I would say is get involved. Get your car, go down the track, be safe, and enjoy it. Going back to the whole golf thing, I just think about everybody I knew that golfed, and it seemed like most of them came home and hadn't had a good day. They weren't overjoyed, but it seems like every time we come back to the track, or most people that come back from the track, they've had a good time. They replay things and laugh, and it's a great team sport.
Hell yeah.
So young guys, take your buddy to the track with you and develop your own set of stories.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, Bill.
You're welcome. It was nice talking to you guys, and thank you for having me. And I will certainly look forward to seeing some of those pictures and the videos and seeing you again at the track. Like I said, come by Route 66, August 19th, be there, and back up at Union Grove, Great Lakes Dragway. For Labor Day weekend, we're booked in there then. And, if Denny has something else come up, we might fill in somewhere. And we'll probably do a test and tune or two at one of those tracks. So we'll be out there probably another 5-6 times this year.
See, August 19th is my birthday, and there's so many events going on my birthday.
Well, I think it's easy. Go to Route 66.
I probably will just do that.
Yeah, Dave, take her to Route 66 for her birthday.
Yeah, I've never been there, Dave. You need to take me there. You've been there.
Oh, it's a good show. Great Lakes Dragway always puts on a real good show. They work hard at it, and I think the Route 66 Nostalgia event is just a fantastic show as well. They have the NHRA event here, but hands down, I would take one of the nostalgia shows like they put on.
Yeah, we'll come to Route 66, August 19th. We'll see you there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Nice talking to you guys.
Nice talking to you.
For you at the track.
Okay, bye.